You and I both want to know, when is the best time to buy Bitcoin? When is that best time? If I buy Bitcoin, will it go up or will it go down? And one indicator that rises to the top and presents itself as an indicator to buy Bitcoin or not buy Bitcoin is the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. I'll pull it up on the screen here. There's a lot of them in different styles, but basically this measures market sentiment about Bitcoin. And the idea is that it's on a scale of 1 to 100, 1 being in the extreme fear and 100 being in the extreme greed. And that the higher it is, it's more greedy, and that means it's a good time to sell, at least, far, from this index. And the lower it is, extreme fear, that means people are selling, people are fearful. And so that's the best time to buy. And I wanted to ask the question, is this a good indicator? Is this a good signal to then use or put into your decision making as to buy Bitcoin? I wanted to know, hey, historically, was this correct? Historically, what happened? What is it made out of? And what are my takeaways here? And so this video compiles all that research in for you. If you find this information helpful or valuable, give me a like on this video if you're feeling generous. If you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm going to journey to my next Bitcoin while helping you to your next Bitcoin. I'm not your financial advisor, just a lizard brain cowboy exploring the wild west of cryptocurrency with a whole bunch of cowboys. If you want to talk with us, head to the saloon where we're always talking. So subscribe button on this channel and comment down below whether or not you think the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is something that you look at or something you don't really care about. But this is it, right? Okay, 1 to 100, right now it's 43, and we could see that on the Bitcoin price chart that, okay, looks like it's pretty down right now since this big drop off. So we need to see what in the world is happening here. And the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index is comprised of 6 variables, and each variable has a different weight to it. And we're gonna just go through those variables. The first one holds 25%, makes up 25% of that figure. So of this figure right here, 43, 25% is held by volatility, and that is determined by these large drawdowns right here. These volatile drawdowns indicate more fear into the market, so that helps determine that score, and that's more volatility. The second one that this index is made up of is volume, and higher volume, of course, drives up a higher greed. So that just makes sense, right? The more people are buying, the more people are greedy, and people want to get on the bandwagon of Bitcoin. The third one is mentions, or rather social media, and this determines like how many times someone hashtags Bitcoin, mentions Bitcoin in social media, between Twitter and Facebook and all these different places, right? And so, and it'll even take in TikTok, some algorithms taking TikTok or Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And that comprises about 15%. Okay, so volatility comprises 25%, volume comprises another 25%, social media comprises about 15%. The next one is surveys. Now this depends on, there's no indicator of whether this is good or bad. Like social media, if the more times it's mentioned, the more likelihood it pushes that indicator up, that score up into the greed category, in the greed zones. But as far as surveys go, it's just, it measures how people are enthusiastic or bearish on Bitcoin, and this is about 15%. They typically, survey 1 to 4,000 people or so, depending on whatever survey and whatever status or statistic you try to draw from. And that comprises about 15%. The next one is dominance, okay? And what dominance is how much market share or market cap does Bitcoin hold compared to the rest of the altcoins. If Bitcoin has a lower dominance compared to the altcoins, and altcoins are on the uptrend and swinging up, that means there's a lot of greed in the market. Okay, when altcoins are pumping, that is a lot of greed in the market when Bitcoin's comparatively down. Now when Bitcoin is a little higher than the altcoins, that means there is a lot more fear into the market. And the reason why people get really more confident, can make more riskier plays, and so they go into the altcoin space, and that the dominance takes up about 10% of that total that that score right there. The last one is search trends, Google search trends. And so you can just go on Google. Actually, I think Nevada is one of the highest, if not the highest state in the United States to look up Bitcoin. But you could see like a natural downtrend or a natural uptrend, and that comprises another 10% of the market, right, or the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index score. Now, I wanted to look at search trends. Okay, so in the last year, we see huge volatile swings. And I want to know, hey, what was the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index saying here? What was it saying here? And what was it saying during these moments, right? Like more particularly, what was it saying during these moments right here where we didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Like no one knows. Like, Bitcoin's wild. And so I compiled a list of about, different points, and then we'll be looking at these different was it right or was it not right. And so you could see here that this is November 9th, and this is on November 9th, and you could see that it was extreme greed in the market. And if we see here November 9th, 11/9, you could see that, wow, that is at its highest point in the last year. And so yeah, that makes a lot of sense that it was extreme greed in the market, and that's actually a good thing right there. Okay, so let's keep it going here. December 11th, just 1 month later, and you hit extreme fear at 16. So so that's December 11th, and if we go here to December 11th right here, we see that the price is roughly about $50,000 per Bitcoin, and it's right here about $50,000. And so here's the thing. If you went by the Fear and Greed Index and you hit extreme fear, the greed index or Fear and Greed Index is basically saying buy now. But if you bought now, you did not see this downtrend coming. So if you go to here, January 1st, more extreme fear in the market, we see that January 1st is right here, right there, okay? And it's sitting at January 1st, you're looking at like $47,000. So it's extreme fear here, it's extreme fear here. If you bought at these 2 points, Bitcoin had more room to draw down to, and so you're buying here. I'll bet you a lot of people bought on this fear, and they did not expect that Bitcoin had more bottom to bring in. And so they ate this bottom right here at 35,000, which, who knows, right? Who knows at that point? So the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is not looking too good, especially when in a macro downtrending channel here. But if we look here, January 21st right here, or 24th, January 24th is right here, and it's extreme fear at 36,000. So that's when we hit extreme fear, 36,000. And then what does it say, like what's next? So that one, if you went off of that call, you'd be fine. But essentially that is the same fear as here and right here. So it's hard to say if this Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is good. Now at 33, February 5, we're looking at here, February 5. And you see that it's a little bit up, 42,000 compared to right here at the 24th. And we see that, the fear is still there, but it is up also. And then you look to February 10th and you see a 50 there. So it should be neutral. So at February 10, let's zoom in a little bit more. February 10. All right, looking at 42,000, and it's still kind of high compared to like where it was, but it's neutral. So that's when like it's really difficult to buy in, and particularly I think if it's neutral, no one knows if it's going to go up or down. But apparently it went down. So if you bought in at a neutral level, now you're hitting February 20th at 27th, and that's extreme fear. And now we're picking up March 5. March 5 is looking pretty good. March 5. Okay, so you're down 38,000 and then your extreme fear. So it matches. So a low Bitcoin price correlates with a little bit of extreme fear. Now, if we're looking at March 21, which is 15 days later, which is why I picked those dates. Okay, you're looking at a little bit of uptrend. So now you're seeing the fear kick up from extreme fear to here. Maybe you could make that guess that it's going to move from 30. It's going to move over a little more. And if you did make that guess, it did have a little room to grow up till like 47,000. March 30th, if you're looking, let's see, March 30th. Oh yeah, then it goes up. So see, for Bitcoin's at 45,000, and it moved from 30 to 55. So you see how March 5 it was extreme fear, and then March 21 went a little higher, and then March 30th went a little even higher, and you could see that movement in this channel here. So it did correlate with the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Now, if you go to April 5th, you're looking at 53, and so 53 April 5th, still a little high, 43. I mean, that's kind of like right in the middle. It's neutral, and that makes sense. And April 20th, which was yesterday, at extreme fear, and we're looking low again. Okay, so here's what I'm kind of just coming to. This seems to be the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index seem to be in a downward trending channel. You kind of have no idea. You have no idea. But in a sideways trending channel, it seems like the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index was predicting it accurately at these points. So the question is, if you're here, right? The question is, am I in a sideways trending channel? Is this one big sideways trending channel, or does Bitcoin have more room to go down to here, right? Like that's always the question. But no one knows the answer, and that's why it's very difficult to observe that answer. One thing that I saw was very interesting. A helpful tool was this. A look into Bitcoin, the fear and greed index, and this helps show you like, hey, look at the bottom of it here is that the Bitcoin price was at in the 2018 was the score was 11 and it was $3,000. So no one had any confidence in 2018. But any one of these upward trending channels right here, Bitcoin fear and the greed index was very greedy right here, and same here. So you're looking at an uptrend, there's a lot of greed. In a downtrend, there's a lot of fear. And so when there's more fear than anything else in the market, that means that thing is continually going down. You just don't know how far it's going to go down. So I'm thinking that anywhere that you could, when you start to see a trend reversal, like if there's extreme fear, probably not the best time to buy. It's when you see a trend reversal, like right in this category right here, like in the 30s, high 20s, 30s, even lower, higher 30s. That seems to be a good indicator of that it's reversed its trend. Now, it's just an indicator. There's no way to really predict this thing. I think what is this kind of makes the case for me, and I'm asking myself this question, like, do I use the fear and greed index? Yeah, probably as an indicator, but it does make a stronger case for DCA. That means dollar cost averaging, because when you dollar cost average, you don't have to guess anymore, right? Like you don't have to like do this math or do a prediction. If you were to do a prediction, at least for my learning, that it would seem like this spot would be the best time to buy. You're hitting extreme fear and you find a trend reversal, because if you buy here too much, you have no idea just how far it'll go down. But if you buy here, it seems to indicate a trend reversal, but not every time. So what do? Maybe dollar cost average. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you'd like to use the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index to help you determine when to buy Bitcoin or not, if this is a good tool or not. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. If this was valuable to you and you're feeling generous, give me a like button on this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep things simple. Lizard brains, guys. I'll see you guys.